Brightside.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Brightside broadcast. I'm your host, the handsome devil, Derek Brightside. Good to see you out today. Thank you so much for being here, taking your lunch hour, taking your dinner hour, any hours that you can to be part of our big event or our big broadcast today. And we're going to cover everything that's going to be OCW Extreme Justice. We've got 3 matches that we're going to be talking about because they all have kind of a common thread going through them, and you're going to find out about that just a little bit later. But first, before we get into the Brightside broadcast, I want to tell you about our big sponsor for today. It's going to be Braddock's IT service. Now think of it this way. You work in an office, right? You work in an office that has a lot of computers networked together. Maybe you work in a dentist's office, a doctor's office, any kind of office that you've got that have a bunch of computers. You need Braddock's IT services for them. We want to know who's productive, who's not productive. We can find out who is playing Minesweeper all day, who's surfing around on Facebook, who's going to be an asset to the company, and who's costing you a lot of money. But when things go down, you want Braddock's IT services on your side. I got to be honest with you. I just used Braddock's IT services for the billionth time the other day, but my computers went down on at a gig on Sunday night, as a matter of fact. I have a primary computer and I've got a backup computer. Both of them went down at the same time. Brendan Anthony, the owner of Braddock's IT Services, came out on a Sunday night, y'all. A Sunday night during after hours to get me fixed up back into the show and doing what I do best, which is entertain people and doing weddings out there. So if you want an IT service that's going to be there for you, Braddock's IT services are going to be the best one for you. Also, I'm going to leave a description in the description box down below so you can follow their links and find out more how you can use Braddock's IT services. While you're down there, make sure you tap out to that like button and that subscribe button. Every subscriber helps me out to get to where I want to be as far as my personal goes. Plus, I just want to bring you the best, the most awesomest handsome devil that I can bring you in pro wrestling today. So let's talk about our OCW event. Ladies and gentlemen, it was a great OCW event to behold. We had 6 matches announced on the card. There was 1 match announced that was the day of. So many changes. What a roller coaster of drama that day that our wrestling fans, our OCW fans, were sure to just fall in love with our brand, our product. But I gotta tell you that I think that with 3 major wrestling brands being Riot Pro Wrestling, CCW, and OCW Wrestling under the same roof, one of them came in with some ulterior motives, because in the main event match, our Riot Pro Wrestling champion, Chico Adams, versus the CCW champion, Cha-Cha Charlie, and our OCW heavyweight champion, Vertigo the Cure Rivera, it was made that night, early on in the evening, that it was going to be a winner take all. So if you took the pinfall, you took the belt off the gentleman it was pinned. It wasn't for bragging rights like we all suspected it was going to be. Our esteemed general manager, Mr. Brute, made that announcement at the end of the night. He came up with the agreement between all 3 brands, and that's when the chaos started, ladies and gentlemen. It wasn't evident at first. We thought what was going to be a nice pre-show match between the King of Flight, Will Austin, versus the King of Chaos, Alex Apollo Jr., was just going to be a match, but Apollo Jr. took that pinfall. It was 1-0 in the brand dominance war. Of course, OCW is going to take that pinfall and get that brand dominance because we're the superior brand no matter what. But that's when things got a little shaky about midway through our event, because what we all suspected is when our tag team champions of Leon Scott and Headbanger Thrasher never made it out to the ring. And it's not like professionals to do that. They just wouldn't no-show an event. We suspected that maybe Controversial Inc. would have taken them out, sent them to the hospital, changed their plans, did something to take them out because they came out extra cocky, extra big-headed. You know Controversial Inc. That's just who they are. And they became our new tag team champions. But answering the call was none other than some of CCW's best wrestlers, Jeremiah and Billy Bob Hill, coming out to answer the challenge of Controversial Inc. And I think, in my heart, that CCW took out our champions in order to try to embarrass us in our own ring. They tried hard. They fought hard. There was shenanigans throughout the match. But luckily, our champions, our OCW champions, Controversial Inc., ruled the day, came out being your OCW Tag Team champions once again. Thank goodness for that. But the shenanigans didn't stop there, ladies and gentlemen. Now you have our triple threat main event match. And now everything was on the line between our three champions, Cha-Cha Charlie, Vertigo, and Chico Adams. They left nothing in the ring at all. All three men of this match took it to each other like you wouldn't believe. Now, what started off as a playful feud in the beginning between Vertigo and Cha-Cha Charlie quickly dissolved when both men dropped to a knee trying to go for a pinfall on Chico Adams. That's when the gloves came off. That's when the hard hitting began. And that's where I think both wrestlers signaled to each other that you're not going to do this in my house whatsoever. Chico Adams came from behind, took out Vertigo Rivera, laid him out on the ground. Cha-Cha Charlie took him out, and all of a sudden it is 1, 2, 3. Your new OCW World Heavyweight Champion, the Cha-Champ, Cha-Cha Charlie, now a dual brand champion between Cha-Cha Charlie's the new CCW champion and our new OCW champion. And that's when chaos started, ladies and gentlemen. Because upsetting the brand there, that's when everybody came out to the ring. Riot Pro Wrestling came out to the ring, started taking out everybody else. That's when CCW started rushing out of the ring to start taking out everybody else. And then OCW finally came to the rescue and said, not in our house. You're not going to be taking out our champion. You're not going to be interfering with our matches. You're not going to be taking over our brand. And what you saw was the chaos and the pictures that ensued throughout this broadcast, including the King of Flight, CCW's Will Austin, taking flight off the second floor into a group of wrestlers. What a sight it was to behold. Got our fans super excited, but what happened afterwards just totally sickened me. Take a look at this picture, ladies and gentlemen. Standing in the middle of our OCW ring, standing tall at the end of the night, was all those stooges, all those idiots from CCW standing in the middle of our rings, gloating and saying, look, we're a two-brand champion now. We've taken your OCW belt. Now, I'll tell you this. Our champion, Cha-Cha Charlie, has some explaining to do. Our champion has some picking to do, because I'm calling you out, Cha-Cha Charlie. You're CCW champion, you're OCW champion. In this war that's brewing between CCW and OCW, you're going to have to choose sides, my friend. And the side you better be choosing is going to have to be OCW. You cannot represent both brands, not with the bad blood that's stewing between us, not between everything that's going on that CCW tried to take over Extreme Justice for themselves and try to assert themselves as brand dominant. But ladies and gentlemen, that's the end of our broadcast. So many questions, so much excitement going on. This is your handsome devil, Derek Brightside, for the Brightside broadcast. Remember, run fast, take chances, speak your evil every day, because the devil don't play. I'll see you, sexy mother...
Bright side.